Today we're going to do some talking to the void, as I like to call it. I've been playing a lot of Evil Dead the game recently, and I can't stop coming up with ideas of things they could do and add to the game. So, in hopes in the small chance that this does anything to change the game for the better, I will now share with you what I've got in mind. So I decided to try something different. I know it's been done before, but I made I made a slideshow of things I would like to see in the game, and by the end of the video, if you make it all the way through, hopefully it's entertaining. I would like to very much hear what you want to see in the game, and maybe we can make this video like a hub for the devs to they have for them to have ideas of what to do. I don't know. It kind of seems like they're bankrupt on ideas, but it's just not possible. It's not possible with this franchise. There's so much you can do. We'll get into that. Okay, so we're gonna kind of start off strong here. I have H.P. Lovecraft inspired chapter and or collaborations with other franchises. So this is kind of a mix of things. To start, the Necronomicon first came from H.P. Lovecraft stories, to my knowledge. My friend pointed this out to me, actually. I didn't even realize that. The Necronomicon shows up in a lot of movies. I had at first thought it showed up in Evil Dead, but no, not quite. So it's pretty cool. I was thinking an H.P. Lovecraft, we're just going to call them chapters to make it easier, like Dead by Daylight does. A Lovecraft-inspired chapter would be pretty cool, I do say. One of the things I think the devs should not limit themselves to is the movies and the shows. While there's a lot of content there, it doesn't have to be the end-all be-all. So yeah, I was thinking, and this is gonna go the same for the next slide, but they could find some funny little way, like some sort of spell in the Necronomicon, that makes Cthulhu shrink down, so he can be a playable demon. Would be pretty funny, and it's believable for the franchise, I think. And he can have his own minions. I'm pretty sure he has his own minions in the lore. I don't know his lore that much, but there's a lot of potential there. And then I may pull the tweet up in editing, but Bruce Campbell was saying when it came to Mortal Kombat that he would like franchise characters to come to his game. I assume he's talking about Evil Dead the game, because there's not another game to my knowledge. So that could be pretty cool. So Friday the 13th is no longer, I'm probably gonna butcher the right wording, but it's no longer in court. It's not frozen for usage and copyright and all that. So they're making a movie, I think, and a show. They're two separate projects, I think. But yeah, so it's open for use to be, shared between IPs and all that. So there's a lot of potential there. And one I came up with, as you can see, is the Mummy. I think even it might not show up in the original movie, but in that trappy, I think it was Tom Cruise, that trappy Tom Cruise one no one likes or even remembers. I think the Necronomicon showed up in there, but they already have a book in general in the movies, I do believe. But yeah, I think it would fit very well if you wanted to add some characters from a different franchise into the game. the mummy is a good starting point in my opinion. I'm not sure, I can do some research after this, but I'm not sure it's ever been in any video games to my knowledge. It may have been. But yeah, it'd be really cool. You go and get, if you want to be, super cool, you go and get Brendan Fraser, and you have him voice act for a bunch of lines, and you can have his character. You could probably have one or two other characters as survivors, but if you had to be strict, I'd say obviously you get him since he's the main character. Then you get Imhotep, Prince Imhotep, as the demon, and I came up with a cool little idea. I don't want to go too crazy into it right now, but like maybe his play style is if you are able to kill a survivor, and obviously it doesn't matter if they get revived, but if you're able to kill a survivor, maybe even downing, if because it might be a bit too hard sometimes, but if you down a survivor, then he starts to regenerate like he does in the movies, and he gets more powers, or he's stronger or something. That'd be really cool. And these dudes, I can't remember what they're called right now. Oh my gosh, the Egyptian dog things. Those could make for some cool elite enemies that are his minions. And then obviously the undead mummy creatures can also be his basic minions. I think there's a lot of potential there. You can have the the place where the buried, like, I don't think it wasn't a pyramid. The buried like Egyptian buildings and all that from the first movie is that could make for a really good map. I think it could be fully unburied like it was in the past, or it can be buried and you can go underneath and into it. That'd be pretty crazy too. I think that would be a really cool addition to the game. Yeah, that's it for this slide. Number 2. New demon Kandar. Test the mettle of man, like in the 3rd season of Ash vs. Evil Dead, obviously where this thing is from. To add, so like I was saying with Cthulhu, since he's supposed to be like this giant sea creature, I think it would be really cool, and makes sense. If you want to have this playable and it's too hard to make it like this giant playable demon, they could do what I said earlier and use some sort of spell in the Necronomicon to shrink it down. I think that would be funny once again. And I would please some people to be able to play it in some variation. Or if you don't want to do that, maybe it's too weird, I think people would really appreciate it if it like walked around in some of the maps. It doesn't have to interact with you, but like it's just this giant thing that walks around the maps. It'd be pretty creepy. Or at least in the background of the maps, like I've seen some video games do. People are always, I can't recall one right now. Oh, it's not the best example, but when I was playing Call of Duty Cold War Zombies, I can't recall the name of them right now once again, but there's like these giant stocky undead creatures from the the plane where the zombies and crap are from, in Call of Duty Zombies. And the first time, it became a boss later, but in the first map of Cold War Zombies, you had to do something, I think, but you could hear and sometimes see, I think, this giant stalking creature. You had to be on a certain round, and then it would pop up for a moment, or you could hear it. And I think it even showed up in some of the audio recordings too. That could be a cool way to put this in the game as well. It'd make a lot of fans happy. Insert the picture where they're like, they got their mouths open and they're pointing behind them. So that was part 2. Okay, part 3. I watched a video a few days ago by, I think, Marvelous Videos, explaining the origins of the Faceless Man, which is from one of the Army of the Dead comics, I think. I'll link it in the description. It's a really interesting video, and I've been thinking about it these past few days. That's why I've got this whole slide for it, because I think it could be really cool. Anyway, I was thinking it'd be so cool if they added him as a demon to the game. He could have a mix of the Plaguebringer and the Necromancers, Skeleton Deadites, and Necromancers, Evil Ash. Maybe he has the skeletons from the Plaguebringer that spin around, and then the skeletons from Evil Ash's army. Maybe not the elite, maybe the elite. Because, he's got to be really strong if you want to do him accurately. So maybe it takes a lot more work to get him as a summonable boss. I don't know. That's up to the devs to figure out. And he hits way hard if you want to be accurate to the comics. So maybe he walks slow or something. I don't know. There's a few ways you could go about it. And I was thinking, since in the comic all the other Deadites are afraid of him being supposedly the first of the Deadites, and his face was used in the creation of the Necronomicon, therefore the Faceless Man, that maybe they form a mosh pit ring around you in the end game, or when you're collecting the pages in the dagger. That it'd have to be if you're able to get the demon at that point, or him as the boss while you're the demon. They form a mosh pit ring around you, and you're forced to fight this giant hulking demon dude who'll pummel you to death if you're not careful. Also having a remastered skin of his design, perhaps by Tom Savini. That would be really cool. I love his designs from what they did with Ash from Evil Dead 2 and Jason from after he comes back from Jason Goes to Hell, whatever it is. And of course the comic version as well. So, skin options would be nice, of course. And I'm not aware of many other unique demons from the Evil Dead comics, but I'm certain there could be some really cool ones to add to the game as well. I do plan on grabbing those comics at some point. Maybe we'll get around to that, and I'll make a list about some of those that they should add to the game. I have to add, I just remembered this, I think it would be hilarious, because in the comics, if you say the Faceless Man 3 times, then it will free him from his prison in hell or whatever, wherever he's imprisoned. And it'd be hilarious if they got Ash throughout the time you're playing up until the demon summons him. Or, maybe it doesn't have to be Ash, but he says it in the comics because he's not dumb, but he's he's Ash. Him or somebody else. Obviously, if Ash isn't in the game, then maybe people are like, what's the Faceless Man? And then they're like, what were you talking about with the Faceless Man? I think that'd be hilarious, dude. Number 4. New survivor Chet Kaminsky? Chet Kaminsky. Fans have wanted Chet since the launch of the game. While I'm not sure what class he'd fit best into without just adding him as another support, you could create a whole other class in general, or give him some sort of pink F cocktail ability to buff survivors in a new way, as a support, of course, or something different. They're kind of intermixing their classes all the time, like with what Ruby does, I think. He's just a really cool character from the show. I think I've seen even the actor himself. Is it Ted Raimi? I hope I'm getting that right. Sam Raimi's brother. Even he wants to be in the game, so there's no reason not to put him in the game. And number 5, new survivor Brandy Barr. Don't know if you've seen this show or not. If you're watching this video, I'm sure you have. I mean, but if you haven't, you definitely should go check it out. But I'd recommend that you watch the first few movies first, and then you kind of get into the show. But in the show, spoilers, Brandy she turns out to be Ash's daughter. And it's been a while since I've seen the show, so I'll have to come back to this, because I don't have any ideas for what she could do right now, but I know I've seen people who want her. They've asked for her. I'm not aware of if the actress wants her appearance to be in the game or not, but she would make a cool addition to the game. She has a few different outfits, obviously, from the show that they could do with her, like, gold prom dress. Maybe it wasn't prom, but she's got, like, the jacket and stuff. Number 6, new survivor Merlin. He's never referred to Merlin, to my knowledge. They always credit him as the wise man. I don't think there's any issue to calling him Merlin, but maybe it's intentional. I don't know. But this is my idea. He'd probably be either a leader or a support. Probably a support would be better. But, he was in the comics as well, but obviously he came from Army of Darkness. You can have the ability to make portals and spawn basic knights to help survivors. Just use Deadeye AI. I mean, I'm no dev, I don't want to be a backseat gamer, but, to me that seems like what you would do. And add knights and villager fighters from Army of Darkness. So, like, this guy with the beard and the bald head, he was a funny guy in the movie. He could be, if you didn't want to make him a survivor, you could make him one of the knights that Merlin can spawn to help you. So either he'd be a support or a leader. Maybe a support who's not as good at healing to balance out the fact that he can literally spawn allies. Or if you don't like that, maybe you can summon lightning bolts every 60 seconds or so. I think he's done something like that in the comics, but don't quote me on it. Either way, he has the potential to be really fun, and they could make modern day outfits for him. Oh, and Arthur, because Arthur doesn't have one, and the blacksmith guy. I can't remember his name. But, they did that for Henry the Red. He had that modern day biker outfit. That'd be fun to have for all those characters from Army of Darkness. And, like, obviously you'd have to balance out the fact that he can spawn knights from portals like a demon could. And I think that, you could do something with that, because he has some pretty decent knowledge of the Necronomicon. You could make up a lore reason as to how he's able to do that. And obviously either the knights have to have really bad health levels, so maybe they can only take 2 or 3 hits. Or, it takes a lot of time for him to be able to spawn another knight or something. But yeah, I think there's a lot of potential with him, and I'd love to play him, dude. So that was number 6, new survivor Merlin, or the Wise Man. Alright, number 7, Evil Dead Rise chapter. Obviously, you'd have to have Beth and Ellie from the movie. I have a picture of... It's not what Stephanie looks like in the movie, but I could not find a picture online of Stephanie, the weapon one of the kids uses in the movie. But that's got to be an added skin to the spear, or a whole new weapon in general. I'm not too sure. But we definitely need Alyssa Sutherland's creepy ass performance as the possessed demon mom Ellie. and Lily Sullivan's badass protagonist, Beth, to help us slay some Deadite bastards. The two older siblings could also be Deadites that Ellie could spawn that are in her little army of minions. Probably just basic. Or you could do something with them being like elites. They spawn together as one elite or something. I don't know if that's allowed, if they could be put in the game or not, but if they could, that's cool. And if you wanted to, you could even put the girl and her friends from the very beginning of the movie as undead minions for Ellie as well. I think that would help fill out her minion roster. You had a few options. There were all those people in the apartment building on their level, and then there's the people from the cabin, so I think that's enough to fill out a roster. I do highly recommend you watch Evil Dead Rise. I do believe it is available on streaming now, or to purchase on DVD if you still do that. I do that. I like to own the things I really enjoy instead of just having them up on the cloud. But, like I said, Alyssa Sutherland is, she really makes that demon, her bitch, acting-wise, very, very creepy. There's a lot of potential with this chapter, whether you want to do the giant demon amalgamation, or just, her being the creepy demon she is. That works very well on its own. Beth is great. Oh, also, I think it would be fun if they added more lines from the demons, making fun of you, egging you on. And if they had, specific lines for the characters you're playing, more of those interactions would help enrich the game, I think, as well. Number 8, Ruby added skins. We need more skins for Ruby, but obviously every character needs more skins in the game. Yeah. It's back to, I don't want to riff too hard on that, but, everybody talks about how they said there would be a season pass with more skins and stuff for the game, and that never happened. But you got the funeral outfit, you got the evil Ruby outfit, and then obviously this isn't from the show. This is the actress herself in is it Xena the Warrior Princess? I think that could be a really cool collab to have for her as a different outfit. And number 9, added Deadite basic and elite enemies, or new demons in general. That would be up to the devs to decide. Obviously this bat demon can't be a whole ass demon on its own, so it's probably got to be some new demons elite. And obviously here I would think what's her face, if you wanted to add Ash's girlfriend from Army of Darkness, you could make her a demon, or a survivor of course, but if you make her a demon, then this can be her elite minion. Obviously it'd have to be relatively weak to ranged weapons, or it could be an annoyance, But obviously, I don't know if they would want to make a whole flying demon, though it would be really cool. Add it to some capacity, please. There are plenty of side deadites and undead creatures that haven't made their way into the game. The Grey Eyeless creature, I think that's from the first season, to be a part of a ball skin, or if you wanted to get crazy, but it might get confusing because she's already a survivor, you could make it one of Evil Ruby's minions and make her a demon in her white outfit. So that's another use of her white outfit, which is when she's super evil or whatever. Or even just her with Ball's abilities as a demon, but they could probably change it up a lot more. Since the beginning of the game, once again, the launch, people really wanted to see, I think it's Coogie the Cougar. It's been a must-have for a lot of the fans who play the game, dude. Obviously, it couldn't be a demon completely on its own. It could, if they added the map of the high stool, a map of the high stool, which we'll get to later. He could definitely be the introduced demon with a bunch of like the high stoolers as his minions or whatever. He could be a skin for Elite Ball if you really wanted to. Just have him there. Like one of Ball's elite minions is what I meant to say. Or as Ruby's minion, that could also work, I guess. There are plenty of other side Deadites not shown here, like from the comics, the shows, the movies, etc. that could also be great additions to the game. Number 10, new maps and locations. So we got the high school Brandy goes to in the TV show in Ash's hometown, where Kuji the tiger first appears. That would be a really fun new location to explore if they just want to add that to a new map they're doing. Or, they add it to a whole map of the town, Ash's hometown. It could be a really cool map. But obviously it would take a lot of work, but a lot of fans would really appreciate to explore that small part of Michigan from the show. It'd be really fun to go through the high school and I don't recall it from the show, I'm still rewatching it, but the Demolition Derby, that'd be a cool area as well. Really fun to loot through all those areas and kill Deadites along the way. The apartment building from Evil Dead Rise, or just the floor that the apartment takes place, or just the floor that the movie takes place on. There was the garage floor as well. But that would perhaps have to be for a new game mode, but I'll get to that later in a second. Also, the cabin from the remake of Evil Dead 2013 would be a good little location. You don't have to, but the A-frame cabin from the beginning of Evil Dead Rise could be cool. Obviously, that's not the cabin, but that was the closest picture I could get, because I can't find that specific cabin. It's probably out there, but I can't find it. A new swamp map would be cool, something different. I hope that the devs wouldn't be afraid to go outside the movies and the shows here and there to help build the game mode, the game world in general. And that takes us to number 11, new game modes. So I have in mind, we'll start with the easy one, Horde mode, like from Left 4 Dead, and the World War Z game. Plenty of zombie type games have Horde modes. Aliens Fireteam had a Horde mode added. I've never played that. It's been a while since I played that game. That's another topic for another time. But yeah, fans have asked for a Horde mode that could be really fun to play, especially if you get to explore through all the maps, or if you're stuck at one location or something. You have to hold out. I don't mind either way. But that's an easy one fans have asked for quite a while, probably since the beginning of the game once again. And I thought it would be really cool if they did. I don't know if you've ever played Call of Duty or Halo's infected game modes. You have like a basic gun with limited ammo, and I think you have a knife, and then the infected player gets a knife, or I think I can't say what Halo has. I haven't played that in such a long time, but I think the Halo infected gets a sword maybe, and they have to kill, the infected has to kill all of the non-infected, and once you're killed by the infected, you get to help the infected kill the rest of the survivors. So I think that could be a really fun concept for Evil Dead the game. And maybe if you wanted to get crazy, the infected, the more people they kill, they can upgrade to an elite, they can upgrade to the boss, stuff like that. Maybe you get randomly chosen to be the infected, and then you pick, what demon you want to be, or that can be randomized too, who knows. And yeah, so your options as a survivor would be to run around the map and try and survive, or to hide. And obviously you'd have to have like a little timer as infected, like every 30 to 60 seconds. It tells you where the survivors are, or like it gives a sound cue like they do in Prop Hunt. I don't know. That would be up to the devs, but I'd really love that game mode. I think my friends would too. And I think they talked about it, but I assume they don't have plans for it anymore. But I know some people also wanted the Friday the 13th style game mode. You know how Friday the 13th works. You're going to look for the parts to fix the cars, or turn on the generator so you can call the police. Obviously that doesn't entirely work with, demons and stuff, but depending on how you built the experience, and you could work around and change stuff up so it makes sense to the world, that could be another really fun game mode. Maybe you don't have as many weapons available, and yeah, you're just trying to survive. And then, as you can see, I have a picture of, Among Us. So I have in mind an Among Us game mode that also kind of branches out. It could be just a straight up Among Us game mode where you have to, do your chores, maybe in a small area of one piece of the map, like the cabin, and if they would add the high school and the apartment building and all those, you'd have more options for these small little areas. And like even in first person, that'd be really cool too if they did first person. And you gotta do your chores, all that, and then somebody's obviously the demon in hiding, and they're trying to kill people, and like, yeah, you could work that out on how you decide to. Maybe that would be really crazy. Maybe you decide, like you do the vote like they do in Among Us, and then if you pick wrong, you won't know until the end. But like you gang up on the person you vote on, and you have to kill them. So it'd be really sad if it wasn't the freaking Deadite. That'd be kind of crazy. I think there's a lot of potential with that. And then in general, just like a story mode, but with friends. Not like full on story mode, but like a movie mode. Movie mode's a better way to put it. Like you go through the motions of the movie, you find the book, you read the book, then somebody gets, turned into the demon, and then you're trying to survive. You're trying to find weapons in the small area you have. You're trying to distract the demon so someone can read the book and all that. There's a lot of potential there, once again. But yeah, in general, I think having mini maps in first person for an Among Us game mode and a movie game mode would be really cool. It could be claustrophobic in the cabin. Maybe they'd have to make the cabin bigger if you did first person. I don't know. I don't know how first person would look. But there is quite a lot of potential there. Okay, and I came up with this one the other day. Number 12, prestige skins. So the idea is to have more incentive to focus on a character and level them to the highest. It's a bit above and beyond and ambitious to make every outfit have the prestige textures I'm talking about, but it would make it all the more worthwhile to go for, prestige in your favorite characters, and maybe just characters you play in general. But prestige 1 would be blood options for all outfits on the specific character you're prestiging. So like this picture of Ash covered in blood, that amount of blood for any outfit that character has. And then prestige 2 would be completely blood-soaked outfit options. And this isn't the best picture I could find. She's a lot more bloody a few moments before this picture in Evil Dead Rise. But yeah, that could vary. Maybe there's a whole customization thing that you can unlock to decide how much blood you want. But Yeah, those are the first two prestiges, and this is where you go above and beyond, because it takes a lot of work to get to prestige 3, 4, and 5. To my knowledge, anyway, I've not figured a way out to really get to those, easily. I am working on prestige 2 Brock right now. But prestige 3, I thought it would be really cool if they did a Necronomicon clothing texture. Obviously, I don't know how they do their clothing in the game, but if they were able to do this, you'd take, like a texture of the Necronomicon. You have, like, the face, and then it's just, like, pieced together, how it is on the book, over and over, and it replaces the clothing for any outfits that the character you're working on has. So, I mean, if it's too hard, then maybe just for the default outfit. And then Prestige 4 would be a blood-covered Necronomicon. Or something else. If you can come up with something else, then let me know. Because, I mean, you already have two other ones covered in blood. But then Prestige 5 where it gets pretty cool to me. I can just imagine it in my head. It's like Necronomicon doesn't, it's up to you if you want it covered in blood again. And, the face glows. The eyes and the mouth glow orange or yellowish, and it's just all over. The texture is, like, all over the body, where all the clothing pieces are. And I think that would be really cool. I would work so hard to get that Prestige 5, dude. But yeah, that's what I have in mind. Or you do, I don't know. Prestige skins, I think, are a very good incentive to continue playing the game, in my opinion. Added on top of all these other things I've come up with for you. And we have final thoughts. Okay, so here's some extra skins I thought of. I'd really love to see lots more skins like they said there would be with the season pass and whatnot. There's quite a lot of potential from the movies, the shows, the comics, and even just original costumes. People wouldn't be against that. Original costumes, concept designs, you name it, dude. Also a post-apocalyptic map I just thought of, inspired from the alternate ending of Army of Darkness, where it goes too far into the future. Spoilers, but it's an older movie, And the ending of Season 3, where he, does he fall? It's been so long since I've seen the show, but, the ending of Season 3, where it's, like, in the future, he doesn't have that outfit in the game, I believe. It is in Dead by Daylight you can wear that outfit. Having, inspired map from that alternate ending, and also from the post-apocalyptic, more like Mad Max map from the Season 3 ending would be really cool. I would love that. Absolutely. I tell me what you think about that, but I think everybody would love that. And even this android girl here, I believe she's an android of some kind, or at least she's, like, robotic partly. Putting her in the game, expanding her lore, making her a survivor would be really cool. I don't even know maybe she could be a warrior, something else, They might make a whole new class. I wouldn't mind that if they did. And there's always this would not happen, but I would love to buy, I would not be at all against if they did a DLC story, either to, like a whole new story to enhance Ash's story and use a lot of these characters, or even do what they've been doing with the lore, where Professor Nobi is, like, summoning some of these characters from different parts of time that have to do with Ash Williams. That could be a whole story. I don't really know if they're going anywhere with that lore, but that would be cool. You could do that. You could do a whole new story, once again, to enhance Ash's lore. You could do a story of Season 4 of Ash vs. Evil Dead, the story that never was because they had to cancel the show, unfortunately. It would have been cool to see. Whatever it is, I'd be very happy to pay money to see a whole campaign story, with my boy Ash, you know, just using all the mechanics of the game, new mechanics, and you can make new demons there that you can add to other modes of the game. There's just so much going on, and I've heard a few people, and I've called him Ozzy Osbourne myself. It'd be absolutely hilarious if they added an Ozzy Osbourne style outfit to Ball. I think that'd be funny as hell. You got this camo outfit that Pablo wears here in this picture. And then you've got these two biker helmet outfits. Obviously, you can do them without the helmets. I'm pretty sure those outfits aren't in the game. Maybe that Kelly one is. I can't remember. There's this, what is it? There's Brock's, what is Brock's store called? But Brock in the TV show has his own, parts store. I cannot, I cannot recall what the name is called. But Ash works there at some point, and he helps with sales and all that. And he has this outfit here, and I'm pretty sure Brock wears that outfit or an outfit similar too. And I want more outfits for my boy Brock, of course. There's this, I'm sure there's even more different outfits from the comics, but there's this evil Ash appearance in the comics where he's all metallic with a Necronomicon on his chest, and he's got these electric pink veins and a spiky chainsaw. An outfit like this or exactly this would be cool for Evil Ash. Just replace his sword with the chainsaw. Maybe even make it work like the chainsaw does for Ash. I don't know. That depends on how far they want to go, dude. It really just depends. And there are plenty of other characters from the movies and the shows and the comics, I'm sure, that you could use to make new survivors. If you wanted to be really silly, you could even do, I don't know if it's a full-fledged character, but I'm always seeing these female versions of Ash. That'd be really funny. If you just want to get wacky with it. And, I think I'd be happy with it. I think it would be funny if they made a female Ash skin for maybe Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness Ash. And, you just hire this actress who's got this anime voice. And she does all those lines. That'd be hilarious to me. But, yeah. You gotta... I've seen people who wanted more of the characters from Evil Dead 2. Maybe even some characters from Evil Dead 1. You don't have to do every single character, but even just making those that die into deadites that show up for certain demons would be cool too. I think that works. I kinda, what's her face? The warrior demon from Evil Dead 2. Annie Nobi's mom. I cannot remember her name. But if you could do some version of her where her head pops out and stuff like in the movie, and she's creepy with the long neck and stuff. Maybe for that movie game mode I talked about, that'd be pretty cool too. But yeah, that's what I got right now. But please let me know down in the comments what you want to see in the game, what you like, what you didn't like. Obviously, I'm here to take criticism. I'm just I want to see more from this game. I want nothing more than for this game to thrive and have so much content going on for it. It deserves it, It's a very good franchise, and We all love it. So I've got no clue what the devs are planning. It seems like they don't have any plans. I don't want to be that guy who gets all upset. This is all for constructive criticism in case they're bankrupt on ideas, like I said in the beginning. But it does kind of seem like you guys are lazy right now, like you're kind of pretending like you need ideas or you want thoughts from fans, but there's just so much you can do. I don't hate you guys. I just want this game to succeed once again. And if you can't do this for whatever reason, you just don't have the motivation, please find another company or a group of people who do, and it'll just be for the better. But yeah, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you did enjoy. And I'll see you next time, maybe. Say hello to the void for me. Okay, so I've decided to try something different. I know it's been done before, but I made a slideshow. I think a bird just flew into my window. What the hell? What the that was really unexpected. Okay.